All right, working on this 996 doing just one headlight. You can see one's nicer than the other, but it's actually a pretty cool car. I do like the 996 generation 911s. I think it's my favorite by far. I know they're not everyone's favorite. Interior is definitely weak. I do not like the interior on the 996. I just think it's poorly designed, but it does drive really nice. And it's a really interesting color. I don't know what the color is, but it is pretty uncommon. And this has the Aero kit on it. So it's got skirts. I don't know about the rear, but the front bumper is definitely a little bit different. And it's really low to the ground. Let's get this headlight looking nicer. All right, we are done. And if you can notice, the passenger side is not quite as nice as the driver's side, and that is because this is an original light that's 20 years old, and this has been replaced pretty recently. This is a brand new light, so the insides are not faded. Look at the insides real quick. And then look at the insides of this. The lens is pretty crystal clear. I would say it's about 95%, but then the insides are faded, which is unfortunate. So this is never gonna look like that light. And the company that makes this light is Bosch. And this is by Automotive Lighting, which I think purchased Bosch to do headlights. This light is clearly way newer than that, which is why it looks the way it does. And in order to get that light to look like that, you just have to replace it. The insides are never gonna come out perfect. So kind of unfortunate, but it is better than before. So we are done with this 996. I just got done with Sunday Steel. This was super packed this time. So we're gonna head out. I'm gonna do the cooling hoses on this car, the one that's leaking, so hopefully we get that done today. Matt Browder's fully optioned 210 wagon. Looking good. Look at those LED turn signals. If you don't have yours yet, you're missing out. All right, starting to drain the car. Coolant is really clean, of course, so just change it. So of course I could reuse this coolant if I wanted to, but putting new coolant in the car is gonna hurt it. It only hurts your wallet, so might as well have clean coolant in the car. Gonna replace those two hoses. Got them right here. So wait for it to drain and continue. Check this out. This is the tint off of the black 500D outside. This was put on the car way back in the day when it was probably new. It actually came off in one piece. I don't even think this is ceramic. This was just kept indoors all the time. It's really impressive that all this came off in one sheet. Here's something uncommon to see. This is a 040 black 500E. Black interior, which is pretty uncommon. Super low miles. This thing is really, really nice. It's probably the nicest set of Sportline rear seats I've ever seen. I don't think anyone really has sat back here. Looks really good, the badge, and it has the European license plate insert. And these are the best wheels. I really do want these for my car too. 040 black was actually pretty uncommon for a 500E. There really wasn't many made, especially with black interior. I don't know the numbers. I really don't keep up with production stuff for Mercedes, but I know it's pretty low. Every single 124 needs Euro headlights and amber turn signals. And this is probably the absolute cleanest engine bay you'll ever see on a 124. Stickers are removed, but look at that paint. It's like brand new. There's like not a speck of dirt anywhere on this thing. Pretty cool. All right, got the 210 all done. So hopefully I got the issue resolved. I didn't get to film too much while I was doing the work just because the hoses were kind of being a pain to get off. But we replaced this hose right here, and then that large lower one that goes to the water pump. So it looks like the area that it leaks to, which would be right under that hose, is dry. Anything you see is residual so far, but hopefully it stays that way. I did run it a little bit and then check for leaks. But yeah, hopefully it stays leak free. I know right now, if I were to have left it as long as I have, would have had a little bit of coolant there and onto the belly pan, and the belly pan is dry. And I took this opportunity to clean the belly pan as well since I had it off. Yeah, those hoses were on there pretty tight. Not this one because I just recently did this, but the two ones right there on the radiator, they were on there super tight. I'm convinced if I had the hose clamp off, it would have stayed on. It was on there that tight. So luckily I broke them loose, but that was pretty tough. This car did take the full 2 gallons of coolant I got, and I did cycle it, so now it's bled some air, and I should top it off a little bit. But yeah, that's crazy. Last time it did not take the 2 gallons. It was probably about 1.75 gallons. All right, topped off the level. In case anyone wonders, I use Leatherique G48. This is actually what the dealer now carries since the factory blue is now no longer produced. The Leatherique G48 is the correct coolant. And unfortunately around me, you can only find the 50/50 at auto parts stores. Otherwise I would have gone the concentrate. The hood's shut so much nicer ever since I did the hood release cable. Here is the factory coolant bottle. This is what it'll look like. That's the part number. If you actually give this part number to Mercedes, they will give you the Xerox bottle because this is actually no longer carried. So while the car was in the air, I don't know if anyone remembers, but I also inspected the flex disc in the front, which is what was kind of questionable last time I looked at it. It actually doesn't look too bad. It was at a different angle. So the vast majority of flex disc is actually in good shape. There's a couple little hairs showing on the exposed part, but I think for the time being, it's enough to drive the car around here and there. I'm not going to be driving this thing a whole lot. Hopefully that part will last until I can replace both flex disc and the center support bearing, as well as the engine mounts and trans mounts. We are 201 miles. Really haven't driven this car a whole lot. Check out the video I did on 200,000. That's when I actually crossed it. So really don't drive this car a whole lot. Hopefully I can change that later this year as I get this car up to date on maintenance. I drove the car like 10 plus miles. Let it cool off for probably 20-30 minutes. I've been wiping it down. It's all cleaned up now. And it looks like I don't think there's any leaks. That's about where it normally leaks onto, which is like right where my index finger is, right down there. This is dry, so I think we fixed the coolant leak, which I'm super happy about. All right, got the car all put away and letting the engine air out. That's gonna do it for this one. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.